Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy days, I am sure, to join me for this video. In it, I'm going over the top 15 options at both tight end and defense as well. Gonna try to get you all the information you need to make the best decisions possible to go get a dub in a critical week 10. If you are new to the channel, Relentless Press has content Monday to Saturday. I'm dropping over 10 videos every single week, most of them at 12 p.m. Pacific. That way you know exactly when that is coming out. If you do not subscribe, you just might miss something. If you find yourself halfway through the video and you're enjoying the content, drop a like on it as well. That means the world to me. And with all the goods sold, how about we get into this week's tight end rankings? Tier 1 starts as usual with Travis Kelce. He is already hard enough to stop as it is, but if the Zebras are also going to let him smash people in the face on his routes, RIP to the defense. Kelce is the #1 tight end each and every week, yada, yada, yada. To the top of tier 2, it is George Kittle. He has taken off since I had him as a buy in my video, so he clearly heard me gassing him up. Now, with the O-line healthier, he has been able to dominate in the middle of the field. I think that continues, and he has a solid chance at making it 3 straight games with a score. At number 3 is Dallas Goedert, and while on paper it is not a good matchup against Washington, TJ Hockenson certainly did not struggle against it, and he had only 4 days to learn his offense prior to going off. Now, Goedert obviously does not have to worry about that, and after he finished as the overall tight end 1 last week, there is no reason to doubt him. Zach Ertz is in at 4. He will make it 3 straight top 5 finishes in this game against LA. Kyler Murray is going to need him as a security blanket against a great Rams front 7, and Ertz will happily scoop up targets. Ditto Gerald Everett, who is at the top of tier 3. He is going to be in the same situation with the 49ers. Everett is averaging 8 targets in his last 3 games, and Herbie really doesn't have any other healthy options. In at number 6 is TJ Hockenson. He was incredible in his first game in purple, and now he has back-to-back finishes in the top 10 to show for it. It is very clear after his first game that Kevin O'Connell wants to utilize him heavily, so I am banking on another solid day in the volume department. To tier 4, Greg Dulcich leads it off. He is easily the most underrated tight end in fantasy right now. He has 3 straight finishes as a top 12 guy, and he's recorded 44 yards or more in every game he's played this season. He has also earned Russ's trust. Not sure what's that worth, but it's probably worth something. Pat Freiermuth is in at 8, and he has magically been able to retain a top 12 spot at the position in one of the most dysfunctional offenses in the NFL. I think it's a testament to his talent and proof that even in an absolutely brutal matchup, he is worth a start. Kyle Pitts is at the top of tier 5. He had his best game of the year just a couple weeks ago against this very Panthers team, and in that one he went for 80 yards and a score. I am pretty sure that he won't replicate that outcome, but just the possibility gives desperate owners a reason to once again throw him into their lineups. Now, the real hope, though, is that he's had 16 targets in his last 2 games. Dalton Schultz rounds out my top 10. He should be at 100% coming out of the bye for Dallas, and with Dak Prescott back, the 2 of them picked up right where they left off last year. Schultz has 123 yards and 12 targets in his last 2. At number 11, it is Taysom Hill against Pittsburgh. He is basically the roller coaster that you want to get off, but for whatever reason, you just cannot. The upside is tantalizing, but you have to know when you're playing him, he is going to have weeks where he just completely disappears. Pittsburgh is great at stopping the position, so if you are putting him in, you are praying for a big play. The last tight end 1 I have in week 10 is Evan Engram. He is going to be a solid option if he is good to go against the Chiefs, but I would say have a backup plan in place right now and remain vigilant to ensure that he does. Kansas City allows the 7th most points per game to the position, so if he goes, I love his upside. Cole Kmet is my lucky number 13. He has come alive in his last 2 games, finding the end zone 3 times. It is very dangerous to chase the points, but with Detroit up next, you have a built-in excuse. Cade Otton is in at 14. He gets an opportunity at an encore after his overall tight end 4 finish last week. The Hawks allow more points to the position than anybody, so I love his chances. At 15, it is Tyler Higbee. He has fallen from grace very hard over his last 3 games. Now in that span, he's had 22 yards and a total of 9 targets. He does remain a back-end option because we have seen him ball out for much of this season, but I think if he face plants in this one against the Cardinals, it is time to look for better options. Before we get into my defenses, wanted to shout out my videos that I have on Saturdays. I do updated positional rankings for every single position. I do a top 25 for quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers, and I also do a top 15 for defenses, kickers, and tight ends as well. These videos take into account all of the news that we have gotten throughout the middle of the week. A lot of times there are some players that move dramatically based on that news. So make sure you check those out. Drop a like on them too if you wouldn't mind. And now let's hop in to defenses. At the top, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They forced 4 turnovers and recorded 9 sacks in their last 2 games and allowed a total of just 30 points. We know that Taylor Heineke has a gunslinger mentality, and I bet Philly makes him pay for it. The Tennessee Titans are in at number 2 against a horrible Denver offense. And at 3, I have the Dallas Cowboys against the Green Bay Packers because, let's be honest, they just scored 9 points against the Lions. To tier 2 and to start it is the New York Giants against Houston. Now, the Giants continue to find ways to win. They force at least 1 turnover in each of the last 3. They're also a top 7 run defense. And Houston wants nothing to do with throwing the ball. So if the Giants can slow down Dameon Pierce, I think the Texans are in trouble. To round out my top 5, it is the Buffalo Bills against my Minnesota Vikings. And at 6, I have the Broncos in a probable smash mouth affair against those Titans. To the top of tier 3, it is the Kansas City Chiefs at 7. At 8, I have the San Francisco 49ers against the Chargers. They have gotten healthier and they return to their elite form in week 8 against the Rams. The Chargers are all sorts of banged up on offense, so I think they could struggle. So I like San Francisco's chances to make some big plays. At 9, I have the New Orleans Saints, who have turned it around significantly against the Steelers. And the top of tier 4 starts with the Las Vegas Raiders. They round out my top 10. The Arizona Cardinals are at 11 in that game with the Rams. They have posted a top 5 finish in 3 out of the last 4 games. They racked up 6 turnovers, 4 touchdowns, and 10 sacks in that time. You may have heard that this is not the 2021 Rams, so I'm going to take my chances with Arizona on the road because they are way better there anyway. The Tampa Bay Bucs are at 12, and at 13 I have the Rams defense. At the top of tier 5 are the Atlanta Falcons. They get Carolina. And the last defense I have ranked in week 10 are the Pittsburgh Steelers, who certainly do not instill any confidence, but they could force New Orleans into some turnovers with the help of the home crowd. And in my defense, once you get past like the top 12, it gets real ugly. And that is all I got for today's video. Really hope you guys enjoyed the content. Hope you learned something as well. Let me know what you thought about my rankings. Drop a comment, drop a question down below. I love the engagement and being able to help you guys out. And if you don't drop anything down there, then I can't. Smash that like button if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. This is Relentless Press. I am Abraham Opats, and I will see you next time.